Hey there! I'm here on the ProtoTech SMP server. This is where I implement all my survival builds you see on my channel. ProtoTech is a technical survival vanilla multiplayer Minecraft server. We do have an application process for new members, but we are only accepting those who are passionate about the technical Minecraft. So if you would like to be a part of a technical server and you have a passion for the game, I highly recommend that you try applying. I don't always have time to play on the server, but I love being a part of the community from day to day. What we will be doing today is starting on a secret project of mine. I have been working on this project for the past 3 years, and over those years, this project has become more challenging. So recently I made some changes I hope will aid in the process of completing it. So let's head over to the villager island and start building on the first part of the secret project. I'm at our villager island here, and this is where we store all our villagers. But down here in the basement is where I'll be working. Down here is a area that we cleared out for a selector, and we end up putting the selector over there. So down here I got this huge area. This is where I will be building my new villager breeder down here. It should take up a fair amount of this room. I finished the bottom layer of the new villager breeder, and I just put in all these water streams. Each of these water streams will carry away the baby villagers that are produced, and they'll take them to a central place where they can turn into adults. This next layer is pretty simple. It just consists of bottom slabs, which are just used to keep the baby villagers from jumping out, and cobble walls. The adult villagers that are breeding will be staying on top of these cobble walls, so that's what they're used for. Time for next layer. Now I added in some cobble walls. These will keep the villagers from falling into the water. And then I added some solid blocks on the backside. This will make these cobble walls a little bigger so that the villagers can't slip between the two cobble walls. Now I will be putting in the next thing that will hold the villagers in. With this layer you can see there's a little bit more going on here. We got some fences which will keep the villagers in between the fence and the cobblestone wall, and then we got some fence gates which will keep a pair of villagers separate from the other pair, and then we also got some iron bars which will eventually hold the carrots on top of. I made some progress on the villager breeder. Here you can see I put in some of the rows of villagers, and there's 2 per pin, and over here this one I still got to organize them, but over here you can see how it kind of looks. They'll be in here and they'll be stuck between these 2 fence gates. So now I'm just going to have to prepare this one and move this pipeline over so we can start filling this row up. So first we got to put in some of these top slabs to hold the villagers down so they don't run away. So these will go there, and then we're just going to put some temporary water sources here. And these will just move the villagers that come in from our pipeline and just kind of keep them moving along, and then we'll just put down some signs and some more water sources, and we'll take this out later. And then once we get this all slabbed in, we'll move this pipeline over, and then they'll fall in, and then they'll get transported along and they'll build up in here. So I got the top slabs in. I also put in the water sources with the signs, and now we just have to open up all these fence gates, so when the villagers fall in here, once all these fence gates open, they can just keep moving down this way, and the water stream will just kind of push them and they'll push each other. So now it's time to extend the pipeline. This is the pipeline that carries in the villagers, and we have a temporary villager breeder up there, and I just need to extend it over here so that they start falling down into this row. So I'll need to put in a fence here, and then I'll need to put in a cobble wall here, and then I'll probably put a space, put another cobble wall, and then I'll just fill this in, and those should fall right down in here. So now I got it enclosed. I just wanted to get this one cleared away, and I want to bring this water stream a little farther, so I'll just remove these old ones. We don't need them anymore, and we're just going to have to put in walls here. Okay, now we just need to let our water stream flow there, and then we're just going to have to put in our fence gate. That's be right here, and the villagers will just stand here, and then another villager will push them in. Gotta be careful because you can't actually sneak over top of these. Yeah, the game considers that no gap there, so you just fall in right away. Just go in there. You can do it. You can do it. I know you can. Just take a little step. You'll go right down there. It's safe. All your other buddies are over there. Just do it. Just as a safety precaution, on the new row I put some top slabs here just to prevent zombies from interfering with them. But over here, where we have to sort out all the villagers and put them in their cells, I just take out this block, which I use to keep zombies from interfering with them. So once you take that block out, you can be down here with the villagers. What I like to do is start at the very end where the water stream ends, and I like to remove the villagers that are blocking the fence gate and then close the fence gate. And then you can just start removing the villagers in the last pin until there's only 2 in there. It looks like about 2. And you just continue this on until you get about every pin full of 2 villagers. So now I got the villagers all paired up and I removed all the extra villagers. Now I'm going to put in that safety slab here and then also put in this extra block here just to keep the zombies from interfering with the villagers. I finished filling up the villager breeder with the villagers, and now I'm just putting in the water streams that will take the carrots and potatoes around to all the villagers so they will have enough crops to become willing and breed. And over here is the input where our crops will come in, and then we have the crops aligned and they'll be running on top of this iron bars here, and then as they come across, the villager will be close enough to be able to pick up the crops. But the villagers in the rows are actually less than halfway in this water, therefore they can still breathe and they will not drown in the water, and they are also low enough so that they are not bobbing in this water, and this top slab just prevents them from walking out, but they're not actually causing any lag from bobbing in the water. When transporting the carrots from one row to the next row, it's important to keep the carrots aligned, because on this row the carrots will be aligned on the iron bars, and then they will come into this water stream and this ice will push them, and then they'll end up exactly halfway onto the solid block here, and then they'll get pushed back onto the iron bars. If they're not aligned perfectly, they'll just fall off to either side of the iron bars, and they just need to be riding right on top of them for the villagers to be able to pick them up all along the way. Since the water streams can't reach the entire distance, I have to use multiple water streams, and I just have some packed ice there with a ladder. But the way we get these packed ice in is a little difficult because the villagers are kind of cramped in there. So I had to find the end of the water stream and then find where there's a door or a fence gate. Here's a fence gate here. And then I block the water stream off just so it's not pushing these villagers. Then I just had to remove this iron bar here. And then now I have to try to get this ice block in with these villagers, and they're kind of pushing up against it, making it hard. But you can kind of glitch this villager on top of another one, and then you can come back here and kind of push this one back a little bit, and then that allows you to put the ice block in there. And then I put the fence in, then I just take out this so the stream is flowing again. And then I just take that water back out again, and I put it here, and then I continue the process. I added the village in the center of the villager breeder, and the village just consists of some doors with some sky access up there, and then he also has a villager here, so it can be recognized as a village. And this allows all the breeding villagers to see this village here, and then they will want to populate this village. So all these villagers, as long as they have enough crops, will breed infinitely to try to populate this village, and we'll take advantage of this to get a lot of villagers at the end. So we have a crop farm over there, and the crop farm will input over here, and then they will wind through all these villagers where they can pick up the necessary amount of crops. And since it takes 5 minutes for the items to despawn, they'll be able to go through all this, and then they'll end up there, and they'll just despawn there, or I'll just put some lava over there if we need to. But there's about 320 breeding villagers in here, so pretty much just under 1,000 baby villagers per hour if it's all correct. Over there was our old temporary villager breeder, which I used to stock the new villager breeder. But over here is the light access to the villager breeder, so if I just remove these blocks, the villagers down below should start breeding. So let's go see if they're breeding now. It shouldn't, I don't think it should take too long. So pretty much the light now comes down, and they can see these doors as being a village, and then they'll start breeding. You can see now that they all start breeding. It only took about a minute, and now there'll just be like a ton of baby villagers down at the end. So I would say it's working pretty well. I will make a separate video about this villager breeder for those who want to know more about it. It's probably a good idea to turn this villager breeder off before you leave. It kind of goes a bit insane. For the second part of the secret project, we will need quite a bit of obsidian. So we are here in the end, and this is the Sandcidiator, and I never got around to building the wither cages, so we don't have any obsidian destroying part here, but we did use the sand generating parts quite a bit. So what I'm just going to do today is just make a really quick temporary obsidian farm. I came up with this about 15 minutes or so, so we'll see how long it lasts. But it should be able to give us some obsidian. We're back, and I've built up the obsidian farm. You can see here's the wither, and the skull we put on from here, and there's the boat, and he'll destroy that block, and the boat will land on top of him. Here's the dispenser that will put the water on him so he doesn't explode the boat. And here's his peeking out area. He peeks out over top of the ender chest, and he'll look at this iron golem, which will spawn from this dispenser. And it's a simple obsidian farm, so I just got some snowballs stored up. This should be able to give us enough obsidian for what we need. And it's all wired together. Down here we have the iron golem for the main head. He's right there. And all the loot's picked up just by some minecart hoppers that are inside of some cobble walls, and they'll come down to these hoppers, and they'll just go into these dispensers, which will just fire them off, and then they go down into a water stream, which will take them to spawn, and they'll be collected at spawn. And that's pretty much all the wiring. Now we're in the overworld side, and here's the entrance end portal that we use to duplicate sand. So we have our piston conveyor belt here that would just push the sand, and it would drop it, and it would hit on this chest and into this entrance end portal, and that would duplicate it. But since we're doing obsidian farm, and we're just going to do a temporary obsidian farm, don't have to do anything too fancy. We just got to send some items into the end to refresh the obsidian platform there. So what we have here is just a dropper, hopper, and a chest full of items. And then we have a clock over here that will just send an item through at such a speed. And to activate this clock, all I have to do is send a sand into this conveyor belt, and I just rewire this so that the piston will now activate this redstone here, so it will shut this redstone off along this clock to activate it. So as soon as I want the obsidian farm to start refreshing the platform, I'll just send the sand through, and I'll start this clock, and I'll just start putting items through. This should be enough to get us enough obsidian that we need. So we have a bunch of hoppers that are keeping this chunk loaded, and we got this 5x5 grid of chunks around it. So that's why this chunk here where the entrance end portal is entity processing chunks, and we got hoppers going all the way back to spawn, which keep this loaded so that the items will go through the entrance end portal. The order in which it will turn on, so once I turn this line on here, power will come, and it will first dispense the wither skeleton skull, which will make them turn into a wither. And then after that we have a 4 redstone tick delay, and then it'll have this iron golem spawned in. So first he will be looking at that iron golem down there for his main head, and then his side heads will be looking at this one as soon as they get spawned in. And then over here, after 2 repeaters, it will turn this water bucket on, and it'll dispense it out, and this will just keep them from exploding and destroying that boat. And then after that, it will come through these 2 repeaters, and then you go through this clock. This clock will start dispensing snowballs at him, and every time a snowball hits him, he will destroy the obsidian. But once the snowball hits him the first time, he will destroy the water block, and he will destroy this block here, and the boat will land on top of him, and then he'll be able to see out towards this iron golem. And that's about all there is to it. So the game plan is that I turn on the lever, then I'll let the wither spawn in, and then I'll wait for all the redstone to get done. Then I'll come in and I'll just have to come back here and check, make sure the wither is in there properly. And then if that's all good, I'll come up here and activate this sand conveyor belt, which goes all around to the overworld, and we'll turn that clock at the entrance end portal on, so it'll start dispensing items. Then I'll just stack up really high, so all the endermen in the area despawn. But if he happens to go rogue, then I'll just have to kill him really fast before he gets out, and I also have some beacon effects in the area. Okay, I'm going to start the process. So I'll flip the switch, and it did not dispense the pumpkin head onto him. There we go. Hopefully that didn't mess up too much. And I don't see him flying around. Let's go just check on him. He seems to be shooting. Seems about right. Okay. Now we'll place this block in, which will activate the sequence. And then I'll just have to stack up quite a ways up. Hopefully he doesn't get out. You can see the enderman out there. So one thing we learned is that dispensers don't dispense jack-o'-lanterns. Must be somewhat of a bug. What? What is with that? So I'm at spawn on my other account, and you can see that the items are coming from the world spawn, which we just happen to have an open fence gate there, and they're falling down, and we have some hoppers down here that will pick up the items, and you can see obsidian's coming through, and you can see that the slabs are coming through. These are the slabs that are just allowing the obsidian floor to regenerate. And we'll just pick up some obsidian. Here's all our sand that we have. Had to move that out of the end. But we'll just pick up some obsidian. I think I just need like 24,000 obsidian. And then we'll probably shut it off. It's been a couple hours now, and I think we finally ran out of snowballs down there. So we're just going to go down there and kill the wither, and we'll see how much obsidian we have collected. We're almost there. Seems like the wither still has his full health bar. And he should be down here. Oh yeah, he's doing just fine. See this dispenser? Yeah, ran out of snowballs. So if we wanted to, we could refill it, but I'm pretty sure we got enough obsidian back at spawn, so we're just gonna kill him. So we just slowly do some damage to him. You just don't want to hit him fast enough so that he starts shooting out the blue wither skulls, so about one every second. Now that the wither's dead, you can kind of see what I was talking about. Here we have a bunch of hopper minecarts, and I pushed some cobble fences in there, so he was sitting in here. And then there's another hopper minecart underneath this, and they're the ones that are picking up all the items. We're back here at spawn, and I went down into the ender pearl storage, and I pulled up all the obsidian, brought it up here, and we got 8 double chests of obsidian plus some more obsidian here, and we got the nether star that came off of the wither. So now we're just going to have to take all this obsidian and use it for the next part of the secret project. We're at the new location of one of the projects, and I got some of my supplies here, so now I just have to put down my nether portal, and we'll go inside and see where we pop up at. I got the nether portal here, and I used the trick with the dark oak trees to poke a hole in the bedrock here. And this allows me to put the portal down 2 meters lower, so this portal block here will allow me to teleport back to this portal when I go onto the overworld side. So let's go inside and see where it takes us. Yeah, it takes us to my island. So this is a pretty nice island here. It has some pretty good features, and we'll be working in this area for a little bit. There you have it for this episode. We got started on the secret project by making a new villager breeder and a temporary obsidian farm. for next episode we should be able to get into the good stuff. So thanks for joining me as I have fun in survival, and bye-bye!